Hello everyone and welcome to part two of November's November 2025 edition of the Butterfly Princess Travel Lounge at the Butterfly Princess Academy, where curiosity takes flight and wisdom wears wings. We're going to continue our exploration of the country of England, so here goes. The people of England have a captivating blend of historical legacy and modern dynamism, their identity woven from centuries of conquest, creativity and cultural exchange, from the misty highlands of the Lake District to the bustling streets of London. The English embody spirits shaped by resilience, innovation, and unyielding connection to their land. Historical foundations. England's people are the product of millennia of migration and mingling. Ancient Celtic tribes whose whispers linger in place names like Avon and Kent were followed by Roman settlers. Anglo-Saxon warriors, Viking raiders and Norman conquerors. Anglo-Saxon warriors, Viking raiders and Norman conquerors. Each wave left indelible marks, genetic, linguistic and cultural. The Anglo-Saxons forged the early English identity, their Germanic roots evident in the bedrock of the language, house-bred earth, and the enduring mythos of heroes like Beowulf. The Norman conquest 1066 scraped this foundation with French elegance, enriching the late with terms like justice and art, while the Reformation and Enlightenment seeking ideas of debate. Often Often carters reserved tea drinkers with a penchant for queuing. The English are best understood through their usage traditions and contradictions. Politeness is a social cornerstone, a shield of please and sorry that marks dry wit and irony seen in the words of Jane Austen or the banter of a London pub. The stiff upper lip, a relic of Victorian socialism, coexists with a thriving contemporary art scene that birthed icons like the Beatles, Adele and Banksy. Regional diversity further enriches the portraits in the industrial North communities of Manchester or Newcastle, where the resilient with pride, their dialects peppered with warmth and wit, the South with its rolling countryside and affluent home counties lends into pastoral nostalgia while Cornwall's Celtic soul thrives in folk music and legends of King Arthur. London, a microcosm of the world, pulses with over 300 languages, where hell markets in Whitechapel sit beside both startups, sit beside tech startups in Shoreditch. England's class system, once rigidly steadfast, signified now simmers beneath the surface. Linger in accents, the quick tones of reserved punctuation versus the wit of Scouser jargon in debates over access to education and healthcare. Yet modernity has blurred the lines. Working class roots are celebrated in films like Billy Elliot, while universities like Oxford and Cambridge strive to demonstrate opportunity. Community spirit thrives in local ritual villages, cricket matches, bonfire nights ablaze with Guy Fawkes effigies, and neighbours gathering at pubs that serve as social hubs. These spaces, from cosy rural inns to gritty urban taverns, are stages where bankers and builders debate football over a pint of ale. Post-war immigration transformed England into a multicultural tapestry. The Windrush generation from the Caribbean South, Asian migrants and Eastern European workers have reshaped cities like Birmingham and Leicester, where Diwali lights rival Christmas markets. The fusion flavours daily life curries, a national dish, and Notting Hill Carnival Caribbean beach draw millions, yet this is not without tension. Brexit debates laid bare struggles over sovereignty and identity as England grappled with its global role. Today's English youth navigate dual identities, blending heritage with global trends. A second generation Brit might praise Birmingham, Moscow, study Shakespeare, and stream K-pop, embodying a fluid modern England. Enduring spirits in a right. From Isaac Newton to Tim Berners-Hill, the English have long punched above their weight in intervention. This integrity thrives in Manchester's Great Blind Labs and Bristol's Sustainable Energy Project. Meanwhile, a reverence for history persists. Volunteers preserve steam railways, Morris dances celebrate May Day, and families stroll through National Trust estates. The English people's resilience shines in adversity. During the Blitz, Londoners famously kept calm and carried on. Today, communities rally after floods or terror attacks, their resolve captured in graffiti murals and viral hashtags. The people of England defy easy categorisation. They are both custodians of Stonehenge and pioneers of Silicon Roundabout, heirs to empire and champions of culturalism. Their identity, even evolving, is a dialogue between the ancient and the avant-garde, a one where Morris mirrors the share roles in Chaucer's verses, Spice grime lyrics. To meet the English is to encounter a people with rooted relentless, when greatest tradition is reinvention. Right, so drinks. So real ale, a traditional English beer that comes in many varieties. Real ales are often sampled at pubs and real ale festivals. Ciders, made from fermented apple juice. Cider is a popular drink in England, especially in the south east. The taste varies depending on the region and types of apples used. Mead, an alcoholic drink made from fermenting honey with water. It's been made for thousands of years and can be sampled at Lindisfarne Island off the coast of Northumberland. English wine, with a growing wine scene, the southern part of England has vineyards that offer source juice for favourable weather conditions. Non-alcoholic drink, English breakfast tea, a well-loved tea blend, typically a mix of black teas like Chinese and chamomile. It is often enjoyed with milk and sugar, a staple with a full English breakfast. Earl Grey tea, another iconic tea flavoured with bergamot oil. It is traditionally brewed with Chinese tea and drunk without milk, though modern variations are suitable with milk or cream. Horlicks, malt-based drinks made with hot milk, often enjoyed by children before bed. While popular in the UK, it originated in Switzerland and Horlicks in the USA. Squash, concentrated flavoured drink to which water is added. Popular brands include Robinson's Barley Water, Ribena and Vimto. Vimto, created in Manchester in 1908. Vimto is a soft drink containing grapes, raspberries and blackcurrant with a secret recipe of herbs and spices. Ginger ale, a ginger-flavoured carbonated soft drink, often enjoyed on its own or mixed with spirits. Dandelion and burdock, a fizzy beverage traditionally made from fermented dandelion and burdock roots. It has been consumed in the UK since the Middle Ages. Lucozade, originally marketed as an energy drink for those recovering from illness, Lucozade is now a sports drink. Lime and soda, a simple and refreshing drink made with soda, water, sugar and lime concentrates. This is one of the cheapest drinks available in pubs. Accessibility for people with disabilities in England. England has made significant strides in creating an inclusive society through comparative accessibility measures across transportation, healthcare, digital services and tourism. These efforts are anchored in legal frameworks like the Equality Act of 2010, which mandates reasonable adjustments to ensure equal access for disabled individuals. Transport accessibility. England's transport system prioritises inclusivity through tailored services and legal protections. The Blue Badge scheme permits disabled drivers or passengers to park closer to destinations. Eligibility extends to those with mobility impairments, and applications are progressed via local councils. Over 2.4 million badge holders benefit from dedicated parking bays and exemptions in restricted zones. Public transport. For buses and coaches, disabled individuals can access free travel via the National Concessionary Travel Scheme, valid across England during off-peak hours, 9:30 to 9:30am to 11pm on weekdays, all day weekends. Drivers are legally required to assist with boarding or work through physical lifting, though physical lifting is excluded. Trains. Stations increasingly feature ramps, tactile paving and audio-visual announcements. The Overseas Visitors Pass that costs between £56 and £122, grants access to 100 plus heritage sites, including rail accessible locations like Stonehenge. Mobility Scheme. The Mobility Scheme enables leasing of adapted cars, scooters or wheelchairs, while wheelabouts often independent motoring experiences. For rural exploration, outdoor mobility provides altering in regions like the Lake District. Healthcare. The NHS ensures equitable care through systematic and digital intervention. Under the Equality Act, healthcare providers must eliminate barriers. Examples include priority appointments for those unable to wait, accessible communication, for example, easy read letters, BSL interpreters, hospital passport detailing individual needs such as sensory-friendly equipment. The NHS Responsible Adjustments Digital Flag records personalised needs, for example, quiet spaces, extended consultations or national debates. Databases ensuring continuity across services. Staff training programmes reinforce compliance with accessibility standards. digital access. Public sector websites, including the NHS, adhere to the WCAG 2.2 guidelines, while challenges persist. Attractions. Sites like the Tower of London and Madame Tussauds provide detailed accessibility guides. The National Trust offers changing places with facilities and for higher estates like so. Accommodation options range from able stays, specialist wheelchair-friendly stays, to convert adaptive adventure holidays, coastal resorts like Blackpool, Lone Beach wheelchairs. Activities, adaptive surfing at Bristol's The Wave and Wheels for our cycling schemes enable active participation. Ongoing challenges. Despite progress, gaps remain. Rural transport options are limited compared to cities. Legacy PDFs and third-party digital tools hinder full compliance. Awareness of rights such as free bus travel eligibility varies regionally. England's commitment to accessibility is evident in its legal frameworks, transport interventions and inclusive tourism offerings. Continued collaboration between councils, healthcare providers and advocacy groups is essential to address lineaging barriers and ensure universal access. For visitors and residents alike, resources like the Blue Badge scheme and reasonable adjustments digital flag underscore a social shift towards equality and inclusion. The flag of England, known as St George's Cross, is a striking emblem featuring a red cross on a white background, horizontally described as a cross glows. This design has served as England's national symbol for centuries and holds deep historical and cultural significance. The flag's simple yet iconic design consists of a centred red cross with arms extending to the edge of the white flag. Its proportions are traditionally 3.5, though variations exist. The red symbolizes patron. She symbolises courage and sacrifice, while the right represents purity and peace. The cross is linked to St George, a 4th century Christian martyr and England's patron saint. Though George was not English, his association with cavalry and military valour during the Crusades made him a unifying figure for medieval England. The red cross gained prominence in the 12th to 13th centuries. It was used by English soldiers during the Third Crusade, 1189 to 1192, to distinguish themselves from French forces bearing white crosses. By the 14th century, it became a royal emblem under Edward III, who adopted St George as the patron of the Order of the Garter of 1349, England's highest order of cavalry. During the English Reformation in the 16th century, the flag became the sole permitted religious emblem in public spaces, replacing other saints' banners. It also emerged as a maritime enclave flown by English ships to assert national identity. In 1606, after the Union of England and Scotland under James VI, St George's Cross was combined with Scotland's NSR to create the first Union Jack, symbolising the two kingdoms' alliance. The flag is flown on St George's Day for 23rd of April each year, and during international sporting events such as the World Cup, where it rallies support for England's teams. It appears in the City of London's coat of arms and is incorporated into the Royal Navy white slim, reflecting its historical maritime role. While celebrated as a symbol of pride, the flag has occasionally been misappropriated by far-right groups. However, efforts to reclaim it as a unified emblem for multicultural England persist. The design has inspired flags worldwide, including Italy. St George's Cross originated here, and England's use of it may derive from a medieval tribute agreement with the Navy. Colonial legacy. The cross appears in flags all former British and Queensland, Australia. The flag of England is more than a historical relic. It embodies the nation's resilience, heritage, and evolving identity. From medieval battlefields to modern stadiums, St George's Cross remains a timeless symbol of unity and pride woven into the fabric of England's story. England, along where ancient stones whisper tales of forgotten eras and bustling cities hum with modern virtuality, offers a tapestry of attractions as diverse as its history. From mist-shrouded moors to grand cathedrals, from cobbled medieval lanes to neon-lit streets, England's landmarks are not just destinations, they are portals into the soul of a nation. England's landscape is studded with relics of its ancient past. Stonehenge, standing at Salisbury Plain, is perhaps the world's most energetic prehistoric marvel. Its massive swing stones arranged in a celestial dance band hangs over 4,500 years ago evoke awe and mystery. Visitors circle the monument at dawn when golden light spills over the horizon, imagining dreary rituals of astonishment, alignment lost to time. Nearby over stone circles offer a Christ communion with the past. Here, sheep graze among that, and the wind carries echoes of Bronze Age chants. Further north, Hadrian's Wall snakes across wild Northumbrian hills, a Roman relic marking the edge of empire where soldiers once grazed northward into the unknown. England's medieval heritage pulses in its castles and cathedrals. The Tower of London, a fortress placed known on the Thames, guards the crown jewels and ghosts of Anne Boleyn and the princes in the tower. In Canterbury Cathedral, Gothic arches soar towards heaven, illuminating by stained glass depicting pilgrimage immortalised by Chaucer. The scent of incense lingers, mingling with the murmur of prayers. Meanwhile, York Minster's rose window bathes the nave in kaleidoscopic light, while the shambles across medieval streets invites wanderers to step into a Dickensian dream. Its overhanging timber-framed shops now housing cosy tea rooms and witchcraft emporiums. England's countryside is a patchwork of sublime beauty. The Lake District, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is a realm of mirror-still windows and fells immortalised by Wordsworth. Here hikers trace paths through buttercup meadows, while hardwood sheep dot slopes like living borders. The white cliffs of Dover, chalk giants rising from the channel symbolise both isolation and connection. Their crisp edges glow at sunsets, a beacon for honouring sailors and against invaders. In Cornwall, castles perches on storm Lash cliffs in ruins intertwined with Athenian myth, waves crashing below as if Excalibur itself lies hidden in the foam. The 18th century left its mark in Bath's hungry royal crescent when Jane Austen's heiress once permitted the Roman bath still scheme with waters for green-tinged pools, a testament to Roman ingenuity. Visitors sip spa water from the pump room, tasting history's mineral tang. In Brighton, the whimsical Royal Pavilion, a fusion of Mongol dooms and Christian interior, stands as a monument to Prince Regent's extravagance. Its opulent requesting are lit by dragon chandeliers contrast with the pebbled beach outside where fish and chip aromas drift on salty air. England's industrial spirit rose to life in Iron Bridge Gate, birthplace of the Industrial Revolution. Its iconic iron bridges spans the Severn, a stellar relic of innovation. In Manchester, the Museum of Science and Industry celebrates the engines and looms that powered empire. London's skyline, ever evolving, just poses for Tower Bridge's Victorian grandeur with the shag's glossy spike. The British Museum's great course swirling glass canopy shelters treasures like the Rosetta Stone and Elgin marbles, artifacts of a globe once coloured imperial pink. England's cultural heritage heartbeat thumps in its cities. Stratford-upon-Avon was literally a pilgrimage to Shakespeare's timber-frame birthplace, while London's West End dazzles with neon and the crusades of and the choruses of musicals like Les Miserables. Camden Market's labyrinth stalls burst with pink punk fashion and street food, a cacophony of sizzling halloumi and vintage vinyl. In summer, Glastonbury Festival transforms Somerset Fields into a mosaic of music and mud, while Notting Hill Carnival paints London in Caribbean rhythm, steel drums pulsing beneath clouds of jerked smoke. Beyond the icons lie England's quieter charms. The Cotswolds, a quilt of golden stone villages, offer honeydew cottages draped in wisteria, and pubs where log fires crackle in rye, cobbled Mermaid Street winds past smug cuisines, with Castle Combe, often dubbed England's prettiest villages, seems frozen in watercolours. Even London hides secrets. Hampstead Heath, wildflower meadows, and markets, Victorian splendour, where Harry Potter's Diagon Alley comes to life. England's attractions are not mere sights. Their stories etched in stone, whispered in oak groves, and sung in bustling markets. To walk among them is to transfer centuries from Athenian legends to Austen's drawing rooms, from Roman baths to rave-filled fields. Each castle, cliff, and cobblestone is a thread in the nation's rich tapestry, inviting travellers to lose themselves in the endless layers of history, beauty, and life. England's cultural heritage is a symphony of words, melodies, and drama, a legacy woven by visionary authors, composers, and revolutionary playwrights. From the ink quills of Chaucer and Shakespeare to the soaring harmonies of Elgar and the biting wit of Wilde. England's artistic soul who shaped global culture, blending the sacred and the secular, the pastoral and the profound. England's musical lineage resonates through sacred and secular realms. The Renaissance gifted Thomas Tallis 11 foot. Thomas Tallis lived between 1505 and 1585, and William Burke 1540 to 1623. This motion like Tallis, a forty vocal labyrinth of sound, evaluated through celestial arts. Burke's Catholic composed under Protestant persecution, throbbed with coded defiance. The Baroque era saw Henry Purcell, 1659 to 1695, the Orpheus Britannicus blend French elegance with English melancholy. His opera Dido and Aeneas mounts with Dido's Remember Me, but forget my fate, an aerial that still chills modern listeners. The 19th century's personal revival found a voice in Edward Elgar, 1857 to 1934, when variations in pomp and circumstance marches became anthems of imperial pride and inspiration. His cello concerto comprised post-World War I acts with elegant beauty, a requiem for a shattered world. Ray Farm Williams, 1872 to 1958, wove folk melodies into symphonic tapestries and as in the lark singing, a violin's spiraling flight over strings, evoking England's vanishing rural ideal. Meanwhile, the Liverpool sounds of the 1960s, shepherded by the Beatles, redefined global music. Their Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band fused Victorian whimsy, Indian interventions, proving England's ability to renovate its sonic identity. English drama's heartbeat pulses in London's Globe Theatre, where William Shakespeare, 1564 to 1616, premiered Hamlet, Macbeth, and A Midsummer Night's Dream. His Abrahamic Pembrokeshire gave voice to kings and clowns, exploring ambition, love, and madness with unrivaled nuance. Lady Macbeth's old-damned spots and prosperous as we are such stuff of his dreams are made of, endure as universal syllables. The Restoration era, 1660 to 1700, revived theatre band with Alphabet Philip, 1640 to 1689, England's first professional female playwright, penning risque comedies like The Rover. Her bold heroism defined norms, paving the way for Oscar Wilde, 1854 to 1900, whose the importance of being earnest skewered Victorian hypocrisy with, like, to lose one parent may be regarded as misfortune, to lose both looks like carelessness. Post-World War II, the angry unmanned movement erupted with John Osborne's Look Back in Anger, 1956. His protagonist, Jimmy Porter, railing against class stagnation. Harold Pinter, 1930 to 2008, mastered the comedy of Menons, whose pauses spoke louder than words in plays like The Birth Capacity unsettling audiences with extinguished dread. England's culture often transcended boundaries. Shakespeare's plays inspired operas, Vivaldi's Othello, ballads, Prokofiev's Romeo and Juliet, and symphonic poem, Tchaikovsky's The Tempest, convert Elgaset, poetry to music in a Shropshire lad blending verse and violins into a nostalgic vivid vibe. The pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, including poet-painter Dante Gabriel Rossetti fueled literal and visual arts, while Benjamin Britten's opera Peter Grimes' 1945 transformed George Cribb's verse into a haunting exploration of isolation. Even the Beatles drew from Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland and I Am the Walrus, echoing Carroll's surreal world play. England's cultural heritage is not a relic but a living dialogue, a continuity where Chaucer pilgrims walk beside Dickens and Church. Herschel's harmonies drift into Vaughan Williams' folk mythics, and Shakespeare's globe shares the stage with Pinter's pregnant pauses. From the quills of society, authors to be collaborative, raw the orchestra pits. England's artists submit the humanity's joys, sorrows, and contradictions. To engage with this legacy is to witness a nation so ever restless, ever reinventing, yet forever rooted in fertile soil of its creative past. England's literal landscape is a tapestry woven with the brilliance of authors whose works have transcended time and geography. Among these luminaries, William Shakespeare and Charles Dickens stand as two pillars that their contribution shaping not only English literature, but also the global cultural imagination. While their eras, styles, and subjects differ profoundly, both authors capture the essence of the human condition, reflecting the complexities of their respective ages. William Shakespeare, the Bard of Avon. Born in 1564 in Stratford-upon-Avon, Shakespeare emerged as the defining voice of the Elizabethan and Jacobean eras. His career in London's thriving theatre scene produced 39 plays, 154 sonnets, and narrative poems that remain cornerstones of Western literature. Genres and themes. Shakespeare mastered tragedy, Hamlet, Macbeth, comedy, A Midsummer Night's Dream, Twelfth Night, and history. Henry V blending poetic language with psychological depth. His tragedies dissect ambition, power, and extreme. Hamlet's soliloquy, to be or not to be, and essential despair, to be grapples with its brutality, while Lady Macbeth descends into guilt out spot exposes the corrosive nature of unchecked ambition. His comedies, rich in wit and mistaken identities, celebrates love's transformative power, as seen in Beatrice and Benedict's sparing in much ado about nothing. Language and legacy. Shakespeare's initiative use of language enriched English with phrases like wild goose chase and break the ice. His characters, from the tormented King Lear to the star-crossed love Romeo and Juliet, are archetypes of human emotion. Today his plays are performed globally, adapted into films and reimagined in context from feudal Japan, Throne of Blood to modern New York West Side Story. Charles Dickens, 1812 to 1870, born into financial instability, channeled his childhood struggles into novels that critique Victorian society injustice. Working in a blacking factory at 12 after his father's imprisonment for debt, Dickens developed empathy for the marginalised, a theme central to his work. Dickens' serialised novels such as Oliver Twist and Great Expectations exposed the brutality of child labour, poverty and institutional corruption. Oliver Twist's play, Please Sir, I Want Some More, became a rallying cry against workhouse cruelty. In A Christmas Carol, Ebenezer Scrooge's redemption underscores Dickens' belief in moral transformation, while Bleak House screams for legal systems inefficiency. Dickens' vivid prose and erotic characters from Misery Scrooge to the tragic Miss Havisham, painting a prominent view of Victorian life. His novels, often serialised in magazines, reached a broad audience, blending suspense, humour and pathos. While Shakespeare and Dickens differ in form and context, their works share universal resonance. Shakespeare wrote for the stage in a time of monarch rule and exploration. Dickens penned novels during the Industrial Revolution, addressing a rapidly urbanising society. Themes. Both explored social hierarchies, but Shakespeare's focus was timeless human flaws, where Dickens highlighted systematic injustice to advocate reform. Shakespeare's influence permeates drama and language, while Dickens critiques social change, inspiring labour laws and educational reforms. Jane Austen, 1775 to 1817, dissected class and marriage in Pride and Prejudice. The Bronte sisters, Charlotte, Emily, and Dan, redefined Gothic and feminist literature with works such as Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights. Modern voices like George Orwell, 1984, and J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter continue this tradition, blending social critiques with imaginative storytelling. Shakespeare and Dickens, though separated by centuries, remain pillars of English literature. Shakespeare's poetic exploration of humanity, Mrs. Skeps, and Dickens' impassioned social critique together embodies England's literal spirits, a blend of artistic intervention and moral consciousness. Their work still taught, performed, and coincidentally beloved, reminders that literature is both a mirror reflecting society and a lamp illuminating paths to change. In their works, we find not only the soul of England, but the enduring voices of humanity itself. England's literal landscape. England's cultural identity pulses to the beat of its music and the grace of it spans traditions that span centuries and genres, from ancient folk ballads to groundbreaking rock anthems, and from rustic village dances to picture of great performances. England's artistic expression mirrors its history, struggles, and innovations. England's musical journey began in the misty villages and bustling ports of its past. Folk music passed orally through generations, told tales of love, labour, and legends. Ballads like Scarborough Fair and Receipt of Love chronicled heartache and heroism, accompanied by instruments such as the fiddle, accordion, and melodeon. Sea shanties like Drunken Sailor echoed across Scots, their call and response rhythms, screeching sailors' labour. Closely tied to music, folk dances celebrated community and season. Morris dancing, with its origins in the 15th century, captivated villages with rhythmic stepping bells and waving handkerchiefs. Dancers, often clad in white with floral garments, performed rituals believed to bless crops or ward off evil. Meanwhile, England's country dances, formalised in the 17th century, inspired Jane Austen's ballroom scenes, their intricate patterns symbolising social order and courtship. The Renaissance and Baroque eras evaluated England's musical prestige. Henry Purcell, the Orpheus Britannia, blended with Gustav Holst turned celestial inspiration into the planet suite, while Benjamin Britten redefined opera with Peter Grimes, a haunting exploration of isolation. These composers wove England's landscapes and sang in symbolic forms, bridging folk roots and high art. The 20th century saw England's music explode out into the global stage. The Beatles revolutionised pop in the 1960s, merging Liverpool grit with studio intervention in albums like Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band. Their successes paved the way for the Rolling Stones, Bluesy Rebellion, Led Zeppelin's Rock Grandeur, and The Who's Moog anthems. Punk's raw energy erupted in the 1970s with the Sex Pistols, God Save the Queen, a sinister critique of monarchy, and England's dance floors throbbed to Northern Soul and later Acid House as rave culture transformed abandoned warehouses into temples of technical. By the 1990s, Britpop pop bands like Oasis and Blur reigniting national pride, soundtracking a post-industrial generation. England's dance traditions evolved alongside its music. Maypole dances with rhythm intertwining around postmarks brings arrival, while Midsummer's Murmurs plays combine folk dance with jigs and sword dances. The Lindy Hop and Jive swept through ballrooms in the 1940s, influenced by America's glitz and jazz. Contemporary dance found a pioneer in Matthew Bourne, whose Swan Lake reimagined ballet with male swans. Meanwhile, street dance collectives like Diversity fused hip hop with English flair, winning hearts on shows like Britain's Got Talent. England's music and dance have always absorbed global influences. Post-war Caribbean immigration birthed soccer and reggae, with bands like The Specials addressing racial unity. beats from South Asia influenced London's pop scene, while Afro beats and grime led by artists like Stormy dominate today's charts. Festivals like Glastonbury and Notting Hill Carnival improvise with fusion where steel drums, rock guitars, and electric DJs coexist. Even Morris dancers now perform to dubstep, proving traditions' adaptability. England's music and dance are more than entertainment, they are living chronicles of resilience and rearranging. From Purcell's operas to Punk's primal scream, from village greens to viral TikTok dances, these arts embody England's ability to honour its past while embracing change. As new genres emerge and old tunes resurface, the nation's rhythmic soul continues to sing, inviting the world to join its timeless, ever-evolving dance. Our tour began with where England's story itself began. Stonehenge, its weathered stone standing under vast skies. Here we pondered the mysteries of Nutelic minds, their celestial alignment still defining full comprehension. In Canterbury Cathedral, we trace the footsteps of Chaucer's pilgrims, their tales of vice and virtue echoing through Gothic vaults. The Tower of London's regaled us with Maccabean legends of beheaded queens and jewelled crowns, while Stratford-upon-Avon invited us into Shakespeare's world, where quill met parchment to immortalise Hamlet's Uggos and Punk's mischief. England's past is not confined to museums. It breathes in the creak of a pub sign, swinging in the wind, in the call of a raven at the tower, and in the scent of wood smoke curling from a thatched cottage chimney. From the wild heather-clad moors of Haworth, where the bronzes span tales of passion and despair, to the serene Lake District, where Wordsworth's daffodils still dance in the mind's wonders. England's landscapes are inseparable from its literal soul. We stood on the white cliffs of Dover, their chalk faces glowing like sunsets over the channel, and understood why poets and soldiers alike have clung to their symbolism of hope, defiance, and homecoming. In London, Dickens' shadow lingers in the labyrinth alleys of Crewe, where Oliver Twist once pleaded for more gruel. Meanwhile, the rolling hills of Thomas Hardy's Wessex reminded us that nature itself is a character in England's narrative, shaping stories as much as the authors who pen them. England's cities are symphonies of contrast. London, a global metropolis, dazzled us with the shag's glassy spine, piercing clouds, and Tate Modern's event-grade instalment. Yet just steps away, the River Thames flowed as it did when Shakespeare's Globe first lit its stage. In Manchester, we felt the In Manchester, we felt the reverberations of the Industrial Revolution. In red brick warehouses turned into hipster cafes, while Liverpool serenaded us with the Beatles' melodies drifting from the Cavern Club. Evening sparkles to cosy pubs where ale flowed freely and conversations blurred into laughter. In Bristol, we marvelled at Banks's subversive street art, a reminder that England's creative spirit is as rebellious as it's refined. Beyond the cities, England's countryside offers solace. The Cotswolds charmed us with honeycomb villages where time seems suspended, while Cornwall's rugged cliffs and turquoise coves whispered legends of King Arthur and smugglers. In York, we wandered the shambles, a medieval street so narrow it seemed plucked from a fairy tale. And in Bath, we sloped in Roman built springs, just as Jane Austen's characters once did. The New Forest Greasegles, um, the New Forest Greasegles with ponies grazing beneath ancient oaks and Northumberland skies unrevealed, unseen in smog-choked cities. Here England revealed its price soul. England's quirks are its charms. We partook in afternoon tea, balancing delicate finger sandwiches and scones, slathered in clotted cream, and chuckled at the absence of cheese rolling down the Copper Hill. We joined locals in raising a pint for Guy Fawkes night, watching effigies burn under fireworks, and felt the communal pride in football chants echoing from stadiums to suburban pubs. Even the weather, ever changing, became a companion, a drizzle that sent us ducking into bookshops, a sudden sunbeam that gilded Yorkminster spires, or a frog that draped Stonehenge in mystery. To leave England. To leave England is not to say goodbye, but to hold a promise of return. For every corner explored, another beckons. The untamed beauty of Hadrian's Wall, the academic grandeur of Oxford's dreaming spires, the haunting melodies of a Cornish sea shanty, or the vibrant chaos of Camden Market. England's magic lies in its ability to feel both familiar and novel, a place where the past is not a relic but a conversation partner. As we depart, we carry with us the echoes of Big Ben's charms, the taste of sticky toffee pudding, the rustle of autumn leaves in Westminster Abbey's and the warmth of the stranger's chairs in a snug pub England in a snug pub England in all its great complexities reminds us that the best journeys are those that leave us for yearning, not for escape, but for deeper connections. So as the plane ascends in the patchwork fields street below, we whisper not farewell, but until next time. For England, with its timeless stories and ever-evoking spirit, will always be waiting, ready to unfold new chapters for those willing to wonder, and listen. So uh, sports. So football or soccer, born in England, public schools is a national obsession with clubs like Man United and Liverpool commanding global followings. Cricket, rugby, and tennis, Wimbledon all hold cultural significance. Modern England is a mosaic of old and new. London, a global financial hub, thrives as a multicultural metropolis where over 300 languages are spoken. Cities like Manchester and Bristol blend industrial heritage with tech innovations. Meanwhile, rural areas like the Cotswolds and Yorkshire Dales preserve pastoral conditions. Challenges persist, debates over Brexit, regional inequalities, and reconciling imperial history with post-colonial identity. Yes, England's cultural institutions, the BBC, British Museum, West End theatres, remain beacons of global influences. In conclusion, England's greatness lies in its contradiction, a small island with an outsized global legacy, a monarchy coexisting with parliamentary democracy, and a culture both insular and cosmopolitan. Its history of conquest and creativity, empire and reform has formed a nation that is at once deeply traditional and inventive. To understand England is to navigate its layers, from Stonehenge ancient stones to stormers, grime anthems, and recognise that is a story through millennia old and unfolding rhetorical questions. Can a nation reconcile the pride of its global legacy with the skies of its colonial past? England's empire once spanned continents, shaping economies, languages, and borders. Yet, how does modern England reckon with the exploitation, the grandeur of the British Museum's looted artefacts like the Elgin marbles? Forces us to ask, is preservation an act of stewardship or a palpitation of theft? What does it mean to pledge allegiance to a crown in an age of individualism? The monarchy endures as both a tourist spectacle and a symbol of continuity, yet as the cost of living crisis strains ordinary Britons, does the opulence of coronation and royal estates feel like tradition or hypocrisy? Can a nation steeped in hierarchy truly embrace equality? Is there a singular Englishness, or is it a mosaic of contradictions? From the pastoral ideal of the Cotswolds to the multicultural bustle of London's Brick Lane, England's identity to define simple definition. The Brexit vote expressed divides. Was this a cry to reclaim sovereignty or a rejection of global interconnectedness? And in a land where chicken tikka masala is the national dish, does authenticity lie in purity or fusion? Does Shakespeare's universal acclaim obscure the voices his era silence? The bard's works are celebrated as timeless human narratives, yet his plays emerged from a society that marginalised women, excluded dissidents, and traded enslaved Africans. Can art transcend its origin, or is it forever tainted to them? What price progress? The factories of Manchester and Liverpool powered the Industrial Revolution, birthing modernity. But in this sudden scheme, children laboured in mills and life expectancy plummeted. Is England's modern comfort built on the bones of its forgotten poor? Does England's rural beauty mark its urban fractures? Poets like Wordsworth immortalised the Lake District singularity, but yet post-industrial towns like Blackpool grapple with poverty and neglect. Can a nation romanticise its countryside while ignoring its rust belts? Does the beautiful game reflect England's soul or distract from its struggles? Football stadiums roar with communal passion, yet racism and classism still game the sport. When the national team bring brings football home? Does it heal divisions or paper over them? Is the universal health care a moral triumph or a battleground for ideology? The National Health Service, born from post-war arguism, is revered as a cornerstone of British compassion. Yet underfunding and privatisation debates beg the question, can a society's value survive austerity? How long can a nation live on the glory of its finest hour? World War II narratives of Blitz spirits and Churchill's resolve still shape England's self-image, but in an era of climate crisis and geopolitical shifts, does nostalgia for wartime unity hinder an adaptation? Who gets to call himself English? Who gets to call himself? From when Russia rivals to Syrian refugees, immigration has reshaped England, yet rhetoric persists. Can a nation built on global conquest ever become a dream heaven of the displaced? England is a precipice, a parchment scrapped and rewritten, layer upon layer of triumph, trauma, and invention. Its story is not one of resolution, but of questioning. To engage with England is to ask, can a nation so haunted by its past ever fully awaken to its future? England is a paradox etched in time, along where ancient stories murmur alongside the hum of modernity, when empire's shadow stretches across bustling immigrant neighbourhoods, and where the weight of tradition dances uneasily with the hunger for reinvention. It's a nation that has gifted the world Shakespeare's sonnets and the Sex Pistols, Rebellion, the Steam Engine, Rebellion, Rebellion and the Steam Engine and the NHS, Afternoon Tea and the Sunday Roast. Yet its greatest offering may be its contradictions, a mirror reflecting humanity's capacity for both grandeur and fertility. To walk through England is to tread on layers of history, Roman roads beneath your feet, Gothic spires piercing the sky, and graffiti-clad subways, cars racing past Georgian town houses. Its story is not of resolution, but of premature becoming. The same sorrow that birthed Magna Carta's promise of justice also rooted the injustice of colonialism. The same streets that Churchill's defiance now echoes with debates over Brexit's fractured promises. Perhaps England's true essence lies not in its answers, but in its questions. How does a nation honour its past without being imprisoned by it? Can unity emerge from a mosaic of identities? And what does it mean to be English in an age where the very notion of borders feels both fragile and fiercely contested? England's legacy is an unfinished symphony, a composition of resilience and regrets, pride and prejudice. Its future, like the mist rolling over the Yorkshire moors, remains unwritten, inviting each generation to add their verse. For now, it stands as a testament to the enduring power of place, a small island whose stories, struggles, and dreams have shaped and will continue to shape the world's imagination. In the end, England is not a destination but a conversation, one that began millennia ago and still demands our listening. And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, concludes part 2 of our exploration of England here at the Butterfly Princess Academy Travel Lounge. Thank you for joining me at the Academy for part 2 of our exploration of England, where curiosity takes flight and wisdom wears wings. I'm going to sign off now and say thanks for tuning in, and I hope very much that you can join me in the near future for more lessons here at the Butterfly Princess Academy. But until next time, take care, and I will see you again very soon. Bye bye for now.